Hello, intrepid viewers, trendsetters everywhere, wherever you are in the world. So, greetings on the 4th of July. I wasn't going to do a video today because I find the 4th of July kind of creepy, but it's a big day nonetheless. And did you see the story? The GOP put out a celebratory Twitter using the wrong flag. They couldn't find the image of the American flag, and no one thought it was wrong. And they used the flag of Liberia in West Africa. What can you say about these people? So much for the Star-Spangled Banner, you know. And in other good news, they took it down, but of course someone's taken screenshots. It'll be there forever for posterity. Okay, other good news. Louisiana Democratic governor has vetoed these bills that have been put forward by the slime that passes as lawmakers in Louisiana, who were trying to make all these medieval LGBTQI laws, and the governor has vetoed it. So good on you. And in another bit of good news, a federal judge has blocked the Florida GOP, who are working night and day to disenfranchise Floridians, including making it harder to register in the first place. I do have to say that American democracy is strange. There are a lot of democracies in the world, many, many, many democracies. And you guys have some of the strangest, most prohibitive rules about who can vote. It's very strange. But anyway, here we are, 4th of July. So let's have a look. I wanted to have a look at the strikes that are going on. There's talk now that the actors in Hollywood may go out as well as the writers. And there's other strikes happening, I think, with the people who drive postal trucks. So the Postal Service big trucks. So they're two that we know about, but there's more strike action happening generally. So let's see if that'll make a difference to working conditions. Let's have a look at that. And I'm going to do a big read at the end, bigger than I usually do, on where is America going from here. But first I want to dip in and have a look at the growing number of strike actions. Let's see. All right. Now, these two cards are similar. Okay, let me explain. Oh, sorry. You have the beautiful Temperance card where the angel is pouring the water of life from one cup to another. You also have the Two of Pentacles, which is balancing pentacles. This is all about balancing. And in this sense, I think balancing some degree of workers' rights. You know, capitalism is based on, is good for, and is run by the single idea that if companies make profits, that's good for everybody. Now, I'm not here to argue about the end of capitalism. I don't have a problem with people making profits. I do have a problem, and I hope a lot of you do too, with profits being put before people's safety and prioritizing profits over people. That's a different conversation. So this is an attempt, very clearly with these cards, to redress the balance of things being stolen. So it's the workers who actually tend to suffer in most cases in the pursuit of this. and they're left only with 2 swords while someone else takes 5 swords, right? So I'll just pause for a minute. I digress. I haven't had a digression for a while. I digress. So back in the 60s and 70s, the average CEO of any company earned approximately 7 times to 10 times what their workers made for annually. So they earned much more. About that ratio. Now, the figures, they're earning 300 times what their workers are being paid. So you see my point. It's just got out of balance to such a radical extent. Everyone deserves a life that's free from deep stress and worried about the most basic things. So if you're working, let alone working 2 jobs, that should mean that you are able to get ahead. It doesn't mean that anymore. It simply doesn't mean that anymore. So it's unclear yet what the impact of these strikes will be. Has anyone got an update on the Florida trucks? They were threatening to strike. Can someone let me know? Thanks. I've been a bit busy with family at this end. So the light is being shone on this injustice. So I think there will be a bit of improvement. Now, depending what the strike is about, it can inconvenience you as a passenger or a customer or something, but we've got to really lift our gaze and think about the bigger picture. You know. So in another extraordinary bit of news and twist of fate, one of the Central Park 5, his name is Yusuf Salaam, has actually told his story successfully. He's now, I think, going to go for a New York City Council position. I think he's over the first few hurdles. All right, let's just have a quick look at that because that is an extraordinary story. Remember, the Yeti was asking for the death penalty for these 5 guys who did not do the act, which is why no country should have the death penalty, because law enforcement gets it wrong. Not only 1 in a million or anything like that. No. Just talk to the Southern Poverty Law Centre and look at their stats, you know. No. So let's do away with the death penalty. We have in Australia, most countries have. It's only really backward countries and the US of A that has the death penalty now. That's something to think about, isn't it, really? So here we go. Yusuf Salaam, how's he going to go? So let's have a look. He gets the High Priestess, he gets the Ace of Cups, he gets the Moon, 3 of Cups. Okay. Well, he is the dark horse in the race. These are 2 cards of mystery here. But I think his story does excite the imagination on some level, and people respond to him. And look, I think he's got a really good chance. That's awesome. That is awesome. Okay. Now, guys, while I'm shuffling for the big spread, another apology for last week on Hogarth, where Hogarth couldn't get home. He was stuck on a train and there was an awful thing that happened. Didn't involve him, but it meant it took him 4 hours or 6 hours or something to get home. And esteemed Lady G, how much do we love that woman, carried on her own. Bless her. She worked out how to do it. Good on you, Lady G. But we'll be back next week, Saturday night, 7 p.m. New York time. That's our regular slot. Now, I'm asking here about the US on this 4th of July. Let's look broadly at the atmosphere. We know all the bad things, but let's just try and look at the atmosphere coming into about July 2024. Okay, so let's see what we can find out here. So all right. Now, interesting. I put those cards, these two cards, in different parts of the deck, gave it a shuffle, and they've both come up for a reason. So let's see what this was about. Howling at the moon. This is the tame dog and the wild dog howling at the moon. And there's sort of a body of water between them. It could be speaking of the division in the country because it's so divided now, and it's not a clear path what will happen from here. But we've got to remember with the moon card, this is a lunar eclipse going on here, and eclipses are opportunities to do something differently. Okay. So what we have here, this is the position for past ideas. And past ideas were this is a very solid card. The Four of Wands can be the wedding card. It's about being secure in who you were. So as a nation, land of the free, home of the brave, as long as you're not Indigenous, Hispanic or Black, come on down. So there was a security in that. What was the thinking back in the day? Well, the thinking was always moving forward. America got wealthy and powerful by being innovative, and top of high tech, and more people getting an education, and other people taking risks, and people working hard and getting some reward for it as workers, etc. It barreled along. So what's happening now? There's these twin energies here I'll discuss in a minute, but the current actions, it's not just people are fighting. It's not just that people are disagreeing. It's that it's pointless. The famous Australian phrase, I notice a lot of you have adopted now, argy-bargy. That's just boom, guys hitting chests, nothing means. It's going round in circles. Neither real party is on top. It's just this circular thing. That has led to a lot of confusion, not surprisingly. People are thinking, what should I do? What's happening with housing? What's happening with work? I've got terrible conditions, but if I say anything, I'll lose my job. I'd like to do this and I'd like to do that, but I can't, or whatever. Much confusion reigning here. So in the obstacle position, people, I would say this figure represents the GOP on some level, not wanting to take the peace offering in this case. They'd rather keep fighting, the Dems, they'd rather keep fighting each other than accept the peace offering. Okay. Someone's just arrived home. Hello, I won't be long. There's a reluctance to pick up this chance. Now, advice for the future. This might seem light-hearted and you think there's all this heavy stuff going on. What do you mean, party? It's, I think, important to celebrate what is going right, having survived the madness of the last 5 or 6 years, to join together with like-minded people. There's still plenty to celebrate, and that gives energy if people can combine their efforts, their skills, their ideas I think there can be great breakthroughs for the country in this time. It's as simple as that. But it is about working together as opposed to isolation. And the 4th of July is a good time to do that, I think. So now you've all got your Liberian flags, I'm sure, ready to go for the rest of the celebrations. But I do have another couple of announcements. I will be doing some more private readings through August. So if you want a reading in August, get in touch with me, because I'll be stopping again in September. So this year is a bit stop-start with that stuff. But I love meeting you guys. I love doing the readings. So to do that, you need to email me, and it's lena.rodriguez.tarot@gmail.com. And it's under every video, right? So one more bit of news before I go. And I thought this was really interesting about Social Security. So in recent polls on should Social Security be wound back, or should it be staying the same, or should it be expanded, 94% of Democrats should it stay or expand, 91% of independents stay or expand, and extraordinarily 94% of the GOP. So this is a sleeping statistic, right? Mark my words. Okay, guys, look after yourselves, stay safe, and I'm going to put up a very special poem on this video from an Australian viewer, thanks Phil, who's written a poem called Firepower about the madness of the gun lobby and the gun supporters. It's a really good poem. So I'll see you next time, and ciao for now.